Okay, welcome back. RAAW Recovery. This is going to be a video on the daily reflection, April 9th, 2022. Still going strong. Um, I'm going to share on this reading about the daily reflection and also a check-in, 18 months clean now, going strong. Been busy. Um, I like making these videos. Um, so I can look back at them one day. This is the longest I had clean, and it's gonna be interesting to look back at them and see the progress and just kind of even at 18 months, thinking about where I was at the beginning. I've made a lot of progress, and this daily reflection, you know, has me remembering what it's like to be in active addiction. And the daily reflection reads, Freedom from King Alcohol. It reads, Let us not suppose even for an instant that we are not under constraint. Our former tyrant, King Alcohol, always stands ready against the clutch. Our former tyrant, King Alcohol, always stands ready again to clutch us to him. Therefore, freedom from alcohol is the great must that has to be achieved, else we go mad or die. And then the author, that's out of the big book. It references to as Bill sees it in page 134 out of the big book of Alcoholics Anonymous. And then the author writes, this is his little experience. He says, when drinking, I lived in spiritual, emotional, and sometimes physical confinement. I had constructed my prison with bars of self-will and self-indulgence, from which I could not escape. Occasional dry spells that seemed to promise freedom would turn out to be little more than hopes of a reprieve. True escape required a willingness to follow whatever actions were needed to turn the lock. With that willingness in action, both the lock and the bars themselves opened for me. Continued willingness and action keep me free, in a kind of extended daily probation that need never end. Okay, I didn't fully grasp that the first time I read that. Okay, so again, welcome back to Recovery Raw. We keep it raw, man. I'm just gonna tell you the raw truth. The freedoms that I've gotten from, being able to keep myself clean and sober is like, first of all, King Alcohol, Queen Dope, Princess Crack. I was under the constraints of all that. And, first of all, it had such a strong grip on my life. I felt I needed, physically, mentally, emotionally. When you're a full blown addict, this stuff has you physically, mentally, and spiritually because you're just so consumed by it. It's your master. You will. My thoughts all day long. That's above everything else. It's like the love you have for your kid, your job, your family, anything, a lot of times, even probably food, it's that powerful. It has you under its constraints. And I don't think about this stuff every day. I think about it in the right context today when I go to the, Alcoholics Anonymous meetings and whatnot. And that helps to keep this in the forefront. And this was a good one because it really had me thinking about how it had such a strong grip on my life, like I felt I needed this stuff to get out of bed. It was without it, I could hardly function. I was useless. on it, with or without it. Without it, I had no energy. And that, I have kids. You want to be around your kids. Um, there's just so much to it. You get a bob and weave, lie, manipulate around family, the system, probation. Um, I'm free from all of that today, where it would consume my mind, spiritually, mentally, physically, emotionally, all that. And it's the first thing, it's just a priority. I don't even know how else to explain it. So it's the only thing, it's not the only thing, but it's the most important thing you think about every day if you're in active addiction. And today, I don't think about it at all. I honestly don't have a desire to drink a drug. But going back to some more of the freedoms, I'd work for myself a lot, and you know, again, this stuff you need it, physically need it, and when I'm working for myself, I would stop what I'm doing, an hour of what I'm doing to go, couple 20 minutes, however long it was away from wherever I was at, wherever I was working at least an hour to go pick up, have to wait for the, dealer, fuck around, spend all this time, which I should be making money, being productive, working for myself. Instead, I'm taking time away to spend money so I can use, so I can, go back to the job. Now I'm under the influence, and I'm not as effective, not as productive, of course. And I would do this multiple times a day. Um, as far as, I couldn't keep myself clean. Um, and, you know, being on probation or whatever the case may have been, around family, having a bob and weave, lie, cheat, steal, manipulate, whatever the case was, this is something that consumed me. So, um, you know, I'm free from all that and I don't even think about it. So when I am reminded of it, a sense of gratitude. It's like, yeah, it's not, I'm very grateful to, not be a slave to that shit anymore, man. And, the only thing for me, once you cross a line and you become a full-blown addict, you know, again, I'll just repeat that, from the previous videos, that my addiction evolved into, um, drug of choice being the dope, crack. If I'm doing that, there's no reason for me not to go hit up the doctors for all the other meds, Klonopins, gabapentin, Adderall, so I can make money and mix this shit. That's just where my addiction had brought me. Weed, alcohol, everything. So, where was I getting with this? Yeah, the only thing today, so once you hit a certain point where you become a full-blown addict like that, you know, there's certain things I have to do, preventative measures from keeping myself from having the first drink or drug, because that saying, one is too many, 1,000 isn't enough, is 100% true once you cross a certain line. And so, one thing to do is by, um, keeping this thing in the forefront, in the right context, going to the meetings and whatnot, has been huge for me. Originally, it just helped to keep me clean and sober, but there's other things too. The whole program, if somebody was to ask me, what is it gonna take to get clean and sober? Um, I would say whatever it takes, But for me, using the program of Alcoholics Anonymous, um, it covers all the grounds, you know. Again, I was told if you work this program to the best of your ability, I promise you'll stay clean and sober. And I found that to be true. And that's the most important thing I can say. And millions of other people have too. But you have to, you know, my advice would be find what works for you, but don't have all the answers. And again, the program covers all the bases. So, um, you know, originally, so that's what I have to do to. That's the only constraints this addiction has on me, is that I have to stay in active recovery, because there's a fine line for someone like me between active recovery and active addiction. And you know, originally I had worked this program and stayed in recovery to just stay off the drink and the drug. And it worked, and it's brought me beyond that, you know. Um, for so long, you know, the program also has taught me how to unlearn certain behaviors and at the same time learn basically how to live life on life's terms, the words they use it, you know, the terminology they use in the Alcoholics Anonymous program. And that's really like learning how to cope with life, you know, without drinking, drugging, you know, acting violent, blowing up on somebody, you know, efficiently, and how to like deal with how to deal with these emotions that, because there's, you know, at 35 years old, I got clean at 33, an addict probably most of my life. You know, there's gonna be a lot of wreckage in the past, and so you come into recovery, you get clean, and you have to face all that wreckage and learn how to deal with emotion. And you know, when you learn how to use the drugs um, as the coping mechanism, that's how you deal with life. Anything good, you want to use drugs. Anything bad, that's all you know for so long. So you know, you're almost, if you think about it, you're almost programmed to think that way. You know, I'm an addict. I needed, you know, I got a whole program to teach me how to live the right way. And, you know, that's not to say, um, that's not to say that, you know, I don't make mistakes daily, or I'm far from perfect. I know that. Um, and I forgot to mention, a lot of times, you know, the benefit of working with another alcoholic or an addict um, that's in the program, you find somebody you believe that you're comfortable with, that has your best interest at heart, and will somewhat mentor, maybe guide you through whatever it is you're going through. That's been a huge benefit. And the same thing with me. If I can help somebody out, you know, I'm more than happy to. That's half the reason I make these videos. It's not just for me, it helps me, but I'm hoping that it can help somebody else too. Um, and I have I have a hell of a story. I know I do, and a lot of experience and whatnot. And I've definitely learned a lot. So, sorry, I'm just changing the song here. So, um, you know, so originally, you know, I'm just getting myself clean, but then as my life progressed in recovery, you know, early in my recovery, I wanted to, you know, get the responsibilities I have today. I wanted those back faster than I got them back. And it's probably a blessing I didn't, because I really needed time to focus on myself. Even today, I have these responsibilities, and it's a lot, In in 18 months today, my biggest focus is on my recovery, kids, and my work. And in in those fields, I'm doing pretty well. I've been able to keep myself clean and sober. I don't even know when I don't even know when the last time I made a video was, but I've managed to get custody of my daughter. I can make a whole video about that. That's even kind of not so much recovery based, but little side note, I think I'll make, all kinds of different videos. This channel will be mostly recovery based, but that's another story in itself. How to persevere in that respect. But yeah, so my recovery, my kids, and my work's been, phenomenal. And for anybody, there's always room for improvement. And I'm gonna continue to grow. Um, you know, one day at a time. Little by little, slowly but surely. Um, so yeah, I mean, I spoke earlier in this video about the work aspect. I'm able to meet my full potential now. And I've worked really hard at it, and I've been able to get these things back in my life. And it's been a lot for me. I'm a full-time single father, a full-time employee, and I work the program. And it's a lot. But my biggest responsibilities are my biggest blessings. But that's not to say, um, you know, life is that makes my life easy. You know, this is what I believe God's will is for me. And again, it's not easy, but I wouldn't have any other way really. And at this point, I'm just trying to stay, grounded with where I'm at. I worked really hard to get to this point, and um, I'm cool with where I'm at as far as like my work. I plan on having my own business really soon. Um, you know, I'll make a quick side story too, just because it just popped in my head. But early in recovery, I got a job where I was working for a landscaping company. Um, you know, this is what I do: tree work and landscaping. And I would have to ride my bicycle maybe 20-25 minutes north, the other side of town. Um, I'm in South Woburn. I was riding my bicycle to North Woburn. They were paying me $19 an hour, like maybe like 35 hours a week. There and back on my bicycle every day. If I had to take a drug test, going the other side of town, East Woburn, and damn, it was a lot. But I didn't have my kids at the time either, so, but it was still a lot. And I'd bring home, I owe money, taxes, child support. I'd bring home little money, and I called my old boss for because I seen a tree down. I used to, sell tree work. That's what I do today. And he wanted me to come back. He says, you know, I told him, hey, there's a tree down. It wasn't down yesterday. If you come over today, you'll probably get the job. This is how this guy gets a lot of his work. And he's a salesman too. He said, Kevin, you wanna you ready to come back and work for me? I'm like, I got a full-time job now, Eddie. His name's Eddie. Okay, what time you get out? I'll pick you up. I'm busy, man. All right, how about this weekend? Let me think about it. And I make a lot of money with this guy. You know, I'm a salesman this at heart, and I'm good at it. So you know, he so I go in, I was making like 350, bringing home like 300, $400, something like that a week, like 400, $500 a week at this landscaping company, working my balls off. I figured, if I can make $400 in a day working with this guy, then fuck it, I'll do it on a Saturday. So I go on a Saturday. In 4 hours, I sold 3 jobs. This guy's gonna pay me by the hour. He gives me 10% of the jobs that I sell. I sold $7,100 in 4 hours. So I made like double the amount of money. I made double the money in 4 hours. So he brought me on full time. It was a no brainer. I had to jump ships. I gotta do what's in the best interest for me, my kids, and and I've just been growing from there. But that's just an example, like, of how, you grow in life when you focus on the right thing, which is what I've got the freedom to do today. Um, I've been growing in I want to grow in the program. I think, people in recovery who have made it through the addiction, we somewhat have a responsibility to kind of like school at least the youth or people that haven't gotten it yet. I wish I got clean. If I got clean when I was, my friends getting clean at 23. If I got clean when I was 23, my life would be beautiful, man. So, I mean, so I can go on and on with this stuff. Just checking in. I mean, things are going pretty good. I have my challenges often, but and problems come in my life all the time. It's just I'm able to deal with them accordingly. So I don't know where I'm going with this. I could go on and on, but I'll be making some more videos soon. So tune in. Thank you all for coming.